Hi everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. We're here for day number 8 of Junk Journal Round Robin. I will ask you to please not mind my slightly nasally voice today. I've picked up a little cold from my kiddo. So this is what Mary Ellen has sent me today, this little map wrapped up in some fun washi. So let's just go ahead and open it here on the edge and see what's inside. Okay, ooh, that is a really pretty set of 2 lovely gold napkins. Those are gorgeous. It's been a while since I've played with napkins. I keep meaning to like do that more often, but like this is the kind of reason that I like this event, because it makes us slow down and like, you know, work on some specific project. And from Shell, oh, that's really cool. It's like in a mic stand. It's like a glass eye and a mic stand. That's really neat. Okay, cool, cool. Is my light gonna flicker today? I thought I had sorted out the issue with it, but we'll see. I'm just gonna have to pay attention. We'll see. So I'm gonna start, I think, with bringing the size of this down just a little. I'm gonna leave a bit of the black around the edge. Okay. There we go. I'm gonna keep these scraps here because I may end up using them. We'll see. Okay, so I think I'll take 1 napkin here. I may or may not use both. We'll see. But let's do the handy dandy napkin separation trick here, where we take a piece of masking tape and just plunk it around my finger. I usually just do like a little loop like that so I can grab at this. So that's layer 1. Now you can certainly, you know, do this more carefully and keep these liners. I really don't need to. And I told myself a while ago that I would stop obsessing over keeping every little thing, because honestly it just becomes too much when you obsess over keeping everything. These are biodegradable. I do not need to stress about it. Okay, so I want to see how see-through, not see-through enough for me to put it on top of this. But absolutely, I love the way that these go together. So I just want to think about what would be a fun use of this piece. I might take a quick look. So Priscilla of Release the Craftin' created this randomera, or she has a better way of saying randomera, random ephemera generator, and they've listed a bunch of like different things to make, and I've added a couple more down here. I'm going to add some more to it, and it's kind of fun. You can like roll a dice and decide what to you know, do. So I'm just going to take a quick look for an idea. Okay. Also, I'm coming up with my own idea. I just had another separate idea. Let's do something neat. I have a plan. One of these days I will actually do what I'm saying I'm going to do and use the thing I'm saying I'm going to use, I promise. But I just had an idea. And it came from, on there it said, make a window. So I guess to some degree I did use the randomera list, because it's inspired a plan here. Just gonna tear all this off this envelope I got, because I want to use it as the backing for what I'm doing here. Okay. I need a slightly more colorful background. Something that would show through this, possibly. Hold on. Where do I have some colorful paper? I'm just going to put you on hold for a second. So I've got this scrap of, this was like ugly scrapbook paper where I watercolor brushed on the back of it to use up colors when I was swatching. So my plan is kind of going to be a simple one. This here. And I need a little more space on one side than the other. Okay. Then, this is the side I'm going to use for this, and I'm going to glue down this colorful paper on this postal envelope here. So now we'll trim this out. Okay. Just kind of give it a nice little press. And then I think I'm going to grab my matte medium here. Actually, maybe Mod Podge. Yeah, we'll go Mod Podge. Where's my Mod Podge brush? Do I have one here? I have to grab it. There we go. And I will apologize if you hear a fan running. I am drying some paper that needs, it just needs the fan. I need a piece of paper, scrap paper for underneath here so we don't make a big mess. There, okay. So let's just coat this entirely. And there's lots of ways of putting napkins on. I often use glue stick, but I want it wet this time because I'm hoping we get more translucency with a wet medium so that we can see through our napkin a bit. So we'll lay this down. Okay, and then I'll go over it again on top. A little bit more delicate when you paint on top because you don't want to tear up your napkin too much. A little bit's okay, but you don't want to like decimate it. And in this case, I'm totally okay with a bit of wrinkling and stuff. I think it will add to the effect. You can definitely be very careful in how you lay out your napkin and, you know, make it all super, super flat if you're looking for that. It's hard, but you can do it. You want to avoid any folds. You might want to press a napkin first if you're planning to try to do that. Okay, so that part just, it needs to dry. So I'm just going to go throw this in water. I'll be right back. All right, so this isn't quite dry yet, but it's kind of rubbery. You can still see a bit of the white that's not dry yet. So I'm going to go ahead though and just cut away the excess of the napkin here. You can also use sandpaper to like sand it off the side. Either works just fine. But we'll just use scissors because I think it's going to be fine. Sometimes it can be hard to cut napkin, but because the Mod Podge has gone over the edge of it. It's given it a bit of a plasticky feel, so it's easier to cut. Okay, so we'll get rid of all this mess and just wipe this bit of glue off the back, because this is going to be the writing space on the back of this piece. All right, so I'll lay that on here. And the reason why I want a little more on one side, because that's going to go about there, and I want to make a fold here, because this is going to be like a flip, a tip-in. So we might as well just make the bend now. That'll be good. Now we'll start to work on this. And I just need my glass for this. Pop this up here. I'm just going to grab my gyro cut here. I'm going to come in and bring my blade down. And we're going to make some fun, kind of randomized cuts. To cut pieces out of this. See that? Any shape you like, just keeping it in the gray, not affecting that black frame and the image, of course. We don't want to mess those up. And leave enough space between everything that you cut out that you do not make it too weak. Maybe like a 1/4 inch, 1/8 of an inch. Whoops. That's what we don't want to do. You don't want to rip it, but that's okay. It's going to be glued down, so nothing has been, you know, impacted too harshly here. Don't worry. Okay. There we go. One more on this side. Oops. Put my little cap up here so it doesn't roll away. And obviously you don't need a gyro cut to do this, although I highly recommend them. Not sponsored, but they're awesome. I really love mine. You can do this with any kind of a craft knife, like an X-Acto blade. Box cutter might be a little bit more daunting, but for those of you with good box cutter skills, you know. Just don't cut your fingers. Almost there, guys. Yes, I could have paused, but why? How are you ever going to see if things are done if I pause, right? Okay, then going with a little careful angle here. It's funny when you're trying to be irregular, how like you end up struggling with trying to keep things regular or something. As I'm making these shapes, I'm like trying to keep them, you know, kind of interesting and not just plain geometric. It sort of reminds me of when I was teaching art yarn spinning to women who were like master spinners who had spun for so many years these beautiful, delicate, even lace weight yarns, but then when you would challenge them to spin a more artful, chunky, bumpy, you know, textured yarn, they would really struggle with it. It's very funny when you struggle to be abnormal. Okay, so that's cut out. Now this has still got some white on it, obviously, that will go away, but it's going to take a little time. So my plan here is like this, to make this like, you know, like a stained glass window. I think it's pretty fun. Now what I'm trying to decide though, I almost want to glue this down here and then cut right around it so it doesn't have that excess there. I thought I would like it that big, but I think no, I actually don't. So what I'm going to do is just kind of cover the back of this now on all of its delicate edges with glue. That light is still flickering. Just shut it off. Sorry guys, I know it's darker without it, but I have to mess with this light. I think it has maybe a kink in the cord or something. I've got to investigate, but I have it like, so I had this whole objective to like organize all my cords, and so it all goes through this like cord feeding kind of thing, and maybe it's just being taxed a little bit. It might have got tugged or something. So I need to check out what's going on with it. Just make sure you get all the little bits here. Okay, I think that's all glued. Oh, no, over here. Okay, so then as I mentioned, I'm going to bring it right to the edge of the fold. Like not quite to the very edge, but real close. And then I'm going to go from this side over so that I flatten it all out nicely. Just giving a moment for each one of those little pieces of paper to get a nice press. One side to the next so that nothing gets bubbled up. Because that's how things tear, is like if it bubbles up. Okay, so we've paid attention to every little bit. Now just give it kind of one nice little flatten. All right, so let's cut out this edge now. Fun little scraps left over. Now I think I will go over this with a bit of stitching around, and I'm going to stitch this and then also the flap, so I'll be right back. Okay, and there we go, and I'll try to turn this on again, see if it gives me some better light so you can see it. So there we go, we've got like a stained glass window going on with that napkin in the back. It still has a tiny little bit of drawing to go, but it's getting there. And then I did stitch around it and around the flap separately. So now this is like a nice little tip out, so if you were to put it in a journal, let's pretend this is bigger, it would you know, be like this, and you would be able to open it up for a flapped out journal space. And I think that's pretty fun with that cool eye. So that is my project for today. I will see you tomorrow for more Junk Journal Round Robin. Don't forget to check out RedParrot and ChellesCreativeChaos, who are linked in my description box and are hosting this with me. So have a great day. Bye for now.